My God, so many problems. Damn camera. Why aren't you better at cameras?
I could be.
You should be.
Just got to get a camera.
You should probably get a camera.
Fucking
You
amazing
should
at
probably
iPhone
get
cameras.
a camera. iPhone camera. Get the fuck out of here.
Fucking Android and shit.
Fucking drink some coffee here. What's going on, guys? Welcome to 40 and Fighting for another episode with us, Anthony and John. I should probably let you introduce yourself. Yeah. Let's try that again. Welcome to 40 and Fighting.
I'm Anthony.
I'm John. Welcome to another episode.
Follow me at Beard Rolls on Instagram, Black Path and AS Print.
You can get all the shout outs out the way right off the bat. That's how it's going to work? Yeah. All right. Okay, that works. Anyways, as you can see by the title, we're going to be talking about how to get better at Jiu Jitsu.
First of all, I do not know how to get better at Jiu Jitsu, so if you get better at Jiu Jitsu, can you let me know?
Yeah.
I don't know how to.
Well, I was hoping you knew so that you could tell me.
No, negative.
All right. Well, then we're kind of. Well,
share your ideas.
I guess that's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Anyways, yeah. So there's a lot of. I think there's a lot of data, a lot of opinions, and a lot of information on YouTube and on forums on how to get better at Jiu Jitsu. So I think the idea here was I just kind of we wanted to talk about what we've seen, what people say, and then give you our experience. You know, what works for us, where we've seen the most growth in our journey so far. Understanding that we fucking suck. I think I suck.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm a jiu-jitsu phenom, so drilling does not work.
Drilling does not work for you. Yeah.
This is echoed by many of the greats, specifically Hodger Gracie told me personally.
Okay, yeah. So you're up there with...
That drilling does not work.
Okay.
Also, I've never drilled, so I can't confirm nor deny.
So you just learned through osmosis?
Through osmosis.
Okay.
YouTube.
And YouTube?
Yeah.
All right, it makes sense. I can see it in your game.
Trash.
Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, like we're saying, there's so much information. I think everyone's going to learn different. I think everyone's mind is different. Some people are going to learn drilling. Some people are going to learn by, once you learn the move, just doing the move. So you mentioned Hodger. He was actually correct. We were talking with Hodger at a seminar, and one of the things he was mentioning was that he doesn't believe in drilling. He believes in drilling to a point. So drilling to understand the move and how to do the move, how you're supposed to do the move correctly. But beyond that, he doesn't like the idea of drilling the same technique over and over again.
What he said was, learn the move, learn the mechanics of the move, try to get your body to do the move, and then pick out white belts. He was the original white belt slayer.
Yeah.
He
did say that.
He did.
He said, "Try it. You're not going to be able to get the move on a high level person right off the bat. Yeah. Your timing's not going to be right. Go with a lower level person and hit that move." You're right. He did say that.
From what I read, or maybe have heard or listened to about Hodger, right when he got his black belt, he moved to London and opened an academy. And there was one or two other black belts in all of England, and maybe a couple colored belts at his academy, but 90% of dudes were white belts. So what he did was he picked, I'm going to get armbar on the left side, and smashed all the white belts. Like I said, he was the original white belt slayer.
Yeah.
This was also echoed by Hickson. When Hickson was in LA, he was there just smashing all of his students, and he would pick a move, and I think even let them pick the moves. What are you going to get me with? I'm going to get you with the right side armbar, and he would just smash everyone. Also,
Gordon Ryan type stuff, but he does it at a high level.
But he's probably Gordon better than Hickson.
Yeah,
I don't know. I have notes to talk about Hickson.
All right, well,
Hickson's the man.
100%. I don't think anyone can disagree with that.
Well, you just said that Gordon's.
No, when I was referring to how we're talking about picking a move and then going with the lower belts. Yeah. Well, Gordon picks the move and does it to high level people.
Yeah.
That's what I was just saying.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So
and that's what I've done is I've tried to progress through jiu-jitsu. There was months where I just tried to armbar people. That's all I tried to do. Specifically, one position armbar. I would try to armbar people.
By the way,
it's really bad.
It's pretty bad.
But I would get to the Kimura, what I call the dark side Kimura, when you put someone's asshole your asshole on someone's face and try to hit the Kimura from like that sideways side control. And it's really hard to break the grip, especially if people got the gi. But so I try to hit the Kimura from that sitting side control, but people grab their grips. It's a lot easier to break that grip instead of yanking up and out. It's a lot easier to break it from the armbar. So there was months where I was just trying to armbar people specifically from that position.
Yeah.
And that worked for me to progress into the next thing, which it was actually not the armbar. I never ended up getting the armbar from there. I haven't got it yet. I've submitted people with the armbar from there, but it's not something in my arsenal yet. What I more switched to is to the head and arm choke from there. It's a really weird way to get to the head and arm choke, but that's where I switched to it from. So if I can't get the Kimura, I smash them and switch to the head and arm.
I mean, on the complete opposite of Hodger and them saying, you know, how they like to learn it. You have someone like Andrew Wiltsey, right? He's like drill, thousands of repetitions. Like he has I think Heath from Pedigo was talking about how him and his brother were practicing grip breaking, and that they would do it for hours and hours, and literally just practicing grip breaking until their fingers and their hands were just completely bloody. The gis were covered in blood. So,
and then they put gloves on and kept going.
Yeah. So that's the complete opposite of you know, their Hodger and them's how they want to do it, where they're like drill everything they do. They drill thousands of times. So I personally, I don't know which one works best. I've never drilled a specific. I'm starting this journey down trying the drilling technique. So we had the first like comp class Thursday, and we drilled 2 moves for 30 minutes, just nonstop. These 2 moves over and over and over again. And I could see the benefit in hitting that move, because for me, a lot about jiu-jitsu, and if you're a hobbyist and you haven't been doing this for 15, 20 years, you're still learning. Your body's still learning the movements and like the language of how to move your hips and how to do a knee slice and how your hips should be and your foot should be planted. So doing the drills for me when we were doing this, it was a weird kind of knee slice from half guard, and it was like super beneficial.
Were you getting the grips?
So it was like half guard, kind of, where the leg is across, kind of like across your waist, and you have their foot trapped, and then their opposite leg is kind of wrapped around your back, right? So you're trying to pass, and instead of like reaching down, in the past I'd reach down and grab the foot or the gi and then push it and then pass that way. This was more of a I put, like, let's say you're gonna pass to the left, and their left or their right leg was trapped. You'd push the knee down, and your inside leg would come up and slice through.
This is how you know drilling
over.
Doesn't work. I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about right now.
Yeah,
he's really
I'm horrible at explaining shit.
So that sounds
I'd have to show you.
That sounds like to me you're trying to pass from the knee shield.
It's kind of a knee shield, but it's not like a high knee shield. It's just like across your
it's
hip.
still a knee shield. I mean,
but either way, it's like
that's why he's
knee slice. Get the fuck out of here, knee slice. I mean, if you were a better purple belt, you would have understood everything I just said.
You said a whole bunch of words that did not make any sense.
They make.
But let me.
You understood. I know you're sitting there, but like I understood. I know it.
Yeah.
Look, they're nodding.
Put the poll in there and see if how many people understood what you're talking about. But yeah, like passing from the knee slice, I have a good story about that. I was at Sloth again. Shout out Sloth, Nate. The second or third time I was there, he showed how to properly knee slice from the knee shield, and it was like getting the grip across the collar, pulling the arm up, sliding the knee through, right? And I was like, man, we were drilling this, right? I was hitting my partner that I was there with. I can't remember his name. Is blue belt too at the time, letting me slice, and then Sloth calls me out. Mm-hmm. He's like, you and me, let's roll. And I was like, all right, let's go. He pulls guard, throws the knee shield up, and I start setting this pass up that he just showed us. Mm-hmm. Exactly the way I was like, oh man, I got this pass on this motherfucker. I get this pass, and I grab the grips, and he looks at me and says, do you think I'm going to let you get me with my own shit? And he sweat me and smashed me for the other 5 minutes.
That sounds awesome.
That's why I know drilling doesn't work.
I don't think it doesn't work. I think it works. I just think it works. I think everyone is just also different. It goes back to learning. Like if you look at our school system and look at how they teach kids, not every kid learns the same. Like, for example, I suck at taking tests. Like if you were to look at my if you were to go and say how smart is this person based on how their test scores are, I would suck. I know the information, I just get nervous, and so that's what I mean. It's like I think everyone just learns different. There's no right way for one person or another, and it really comes back down to like what works for you. How does your brain work? Does your brain require you to like repeat the process over and over again, or is your brain work like, all right, now I know it, now I need to go just keep trying it in a live situation?
Have you heard the term to master something? It takes like 10,000 hours. 10,000 like that. Someone wrote a book talking about 10,000 hours.
Yeah, it's like I remember seeing it with basketball or something like that.
It was with everything. I think. It was like if you want to become a master at something, 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours equates to about 5 working years, right? That's what it takes to master something. So I mean that goes back to how long it takes to get a black belt, right? Because
longer than that.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm getting to the master thing and drill.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but any way, like, no matter which way you look at it, if you do one thing over and over again, you're going to get better at it. Now, there was a time when I did production work with my hands, and I did the same thing over and over. When I started, I sucked at it. When I left, I was amazing at it. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. If you're passing the knee slice, you're trying to sit down and pass half guard. If you're rocking to your side, pushing the knee, getting to the half guard.
When you say production work, you fluffing?
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
When I sucked, I could not suck a dick. When I got finished,
you were pro.
Woo,
yeah,
pro.
That's what I thought. I just want to make sure.
That reminds me, on a weird subject or a tangent, we are not brothers.
No, we're not.
People think we are. Yeah. What we really are lovers.
Yeah. This guy, he plays this up. Dude, we'll be in public at a restaurant, and someone's like, "Oh, are you brothers?" And what was it? We were at Felipe's in San Diego, and the waitress was like, "Oh,
that was
you
the
guys
third
brothers?"
time that day someone asked us.
Yeah, in the same day, and she was like, "No, we're lovers." And we were sitting next to each other, and he goes like this, and her face was just like, she didn't know what to say. Like her face was like, "What? Okay, sorry." Like she was like, "Did I just offend them? Did I not? What do I go from here?" It's hilarious.
I'm happily married to a 5'8" red-bearded man. I don't care who knows about it.
Anyways, yeah, we're not brothers. We're not related. We just happen to meet each other through Jiu Jitsu. So
yeah,
but yeah, that is a good point. We do get that quite a bit.
But yeah, production, drilling, all those things, they absolutely work. I can't see a single person that could say it doesn't work. I think it definitely does work. But I think it goes to what makes you learn. Are you drilling with like what Omar was saying is like, hey, we're gonna drill and we're gonna drill hard. I didn't make it to that class, but he was talking about it a little bit. So we're not gonna drill like
it was like full drill. It wasn't like
drilling.
So like it was like it was one of those drilling where it sucked as they're passing, and he's like pressure. So the whole time you're just like, oh god, this sucks. So it was like that. It was good.
And I think if you do that, it's that's more like a role, so it's funner, and more people would like that. But like when we're in class, when he shows technique, if it's a technique I know, like I mean we do like the scissor sweep or the butterfly sweep. Like I'm phoning it. I'm phoning the butterfly sweep in.
Well, I think here's the thing with drilling. Like let's say you're learning a new technique. In the beginning, I think there's your partner has to be willing to be a good partner. And Omar
100%.
Omar says this a lot. Be a good partner because you need to learn the drill. You need to learn the technique, right? And if you're trying to do something that you don't know really how to do, you're not a master of this technique on someone who's actually not being a good partner or resisting more than he should, you're going to have trouble understanding how it should feel, understanding how it should actually play out when it's perfect, right? And so having a good partner, I think, is like super key to that fact. But then once you get past that, then you like, all right, I understand the technique. Now it's where when you start talking about the competition drilling that we were doing, that's where it's like, all right, go when you do the drill. Do the drill, like go at it with the drill, so that now you can get the timing, you can get the pressure, you can understand like how it feels, like that side of the house.
Yeah, I think having the right partner is probably 90% of it, because like there's certain guys I like to drill with.
Don't drill any guard stuff with him. So
he's not the guy. Like that's funny. That's where I was going. Okay. I don't like drilling with him because he can't handle the fucking pressure. This dude does not. I can't
even like get my legs around.
I can't get my legs around you either.
Danny's got long legs though.
Big Danny.
Yeah, he's got long legs.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
So he works good with me, but he's also like level. He's like a 2 or 3 stripe. No, he's a 1 stripe purple belt.
He's really good.
But he's levels ahead of me, and every time we drill, he'll say like something that makes more sense to me than what Omar's talking about. Not because Omar is wrong, but Danny's got a more similar game than I have, because he's a big giant dude, but he's not long legs. He's not super.
I think you're on a great point too with that. Is that And again, I think Omar's even mentioned this. Like they show a technique, and just because they show the technique and say this is how the technique should be, you're gonna have to. And I think this is what's cool about jiu-jitsu in general. You have to take that technique and apply it to yourself and be like, oh, I can't bend my hip this way, so if I do it this way, then boom, then I can get it. Or I can't do it this way, but I can get it to work this way. And you have to take that technique and adjust it and modify it so that it works for you.
I know that's what I just said, but I hadn't thought about it like that. Because he would show me things that work better for me, or not specifically for me, but I would figure it out through drilling.
He would just get you there faster.
Yeah, he wouldn't necessarily even show me what's working better, but we would drill it, and he's a patient dude, and I can be rougher with him because he's my size.
Yeah, he's bigger.
So I can throw my hips, or I can stick my foot in his waist to kick out or whatever, and he's not going to complain about it. But if I'm drilling with like a small guy,
it's hard.
Like his size.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard because you're going to hurt him, and or when you're drilling, if you don't know the move, or if you're not great at the move, you're gonna spaz out and hurt people. Like it is what it is. Like I mean, that's a part of learning. I don't care who you are, if you're fucking Hodge or Gracie or you're Hickson or whoever it is. At some point, they were spazzing out, hurting people by accident.
Yeah,
or just kicking people in the nuts, or maybe hitting them in the face by accident.
Or the shin.
The shins. We both have a shin injury. Like mine's pretty good, but yours is pretty fucked right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, drilling. I see personally learning. If we go on to the next step, we both agree that drilling works.
I do. Here's. And before we say that, 100% it works. I think the caveat and why I think some people think that drilling doesn't work is, what if you're drilling it wrong?
Yeah, well, that's
so like
that's,
if you take, let's say you learn a technique and maybe you're doing it and then you're not placing your hand in the right place. You're doing or something critical for the technique to fully work. So you keep drilling it the wrong way over and over again, and so you're learning it and getting that muscle memory, but you're learning it the wrong way. So every time you hit it, you're probably always wondering like, why isn't it working for me?
But
why can I never hit this?
But is it wrong if you're hitting it though?
But that's what I'm saying. If you're not successful with it, and then you've been drilling it over and over again, in your mind you might think like, man, I've been drilling this 1,000 times. Why can I not pull this off? And it could be because you've drilled it wrong so many times, or maybe you're missing one piece of the puzzle to work. Like, how many times have you been in class where he's showing a pass and maybe he showed it a few times, but this time he'll be like, oh, here's one extra step, do this, and then you're like, you're just like, that one thing was like, I've been struggling because I don't do that, and he shows that one thing, and it's like, oh man, the doors opens, and
I think that's where a good professor comes in. Whether you have a great, I mean, I've never met a bad professor yet, but that's what the professor's job is to do, is to show you what you're missing. Hopefully, you get enough one-on-one time. We have pretty good classes, and we don't have a lot of one-on-one time, but usually we got 2 or 3 black belts on the mat, walking around, showing what you're doing wrong or what you're doing right, and encouraging it. One of the things that reminds me of is a year and a half ago or something like that, I was training with Black Belt Roger from Fight Sports, and it was a drill. It was a circular drill, like a Shark Tank drill. There was like 4 or 5 of us. One person stayed in. Everyone, rotated in and out. And the whole goal was to let them get in side control and then retain your guard from there. And every time I did it, I was throwing the wrong knee in. And he just kept stopping. He's like, you're throwing the wrong knee. And I was like, I need to create space. And he's like, the reason you're not creating space is you're using the wrong knee. And once I got that, I'm better at retaining guard because of that. Just, it's one little thing like that, and then drilling it. Because after he did that, I started understanding. I was getting back to my guard on dude, so I never get back to my guard on. I've kind of abandoned getting back to the guard in general. I like to play half guard better, but still the same idea works. You get the right knee in correctly. If you get your right knee in, not specifically your right leg, but the correct knee, you're going to get back to the guard you want, whether it's full guard or half guard, or you're going to sweep, you're going to get it if you know the technique. That's what you're saying. Like, if you're drilling the technique wrong, it's not going to work.
It's not going to work, no matter how much you drill it. But I think that's people that say the drilling doesn't work, that's possibly why.
Yeah, for sure.
Where if instead of drilling, maybe you're out and you're practicing that, and you're trying to hit it live, you're going to make adjustments and learn from that as well. So you're going to be like, oh, that didn't work, or I got caught, or I go for this, boom, every time I go for this, I get caught in an arm bar. Why do I keep, it's because I put my hand here. So let me try it without putting, look, that time I didn't get caught in an arm bar. So outside of drilling, that's the other way, is just keep trying it,
Yeah.
and keep trying it, and keep trying it, right? But I do think,
Well, you could actively drill while you're rolling, like we talked about,
going
trying,
for those,
trying to get to the same
and
position.
I think you're right though, and they're right by trying it on lower belts and
White belt slayer.
Omar was trying to get my son to work in the teens class last week.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't want to be in the teens class, and he's like, no, you can go in these classes and drill with the kids.
Yeah.
And you just practice your technique. So you want to get to the back, just keep working to get in the back, and then letting him
Potato?
get. No, Nathan. So basically, he's let him get. You want to work on getting the back.
Yeah.
Work to get to their back, then you let them take control again, then escape and try to get back again,
Yeah.
get back in. So put yourself in these bad positions and then keep working to get back to the back.
Yeah.
And that goes to that where you can actively, actively learn or actively drill. Active drilling, is that
sure.
Is that a phrase? Is that a phrase?
gotta be.
It is now.
Yeah.
Active
Yeah.
drilling.
Yeah.
Today's word of the day: active drilling. Words.
that's a phrase.
Words. Phrase. Today's phrase is phrase.
But on to the next step of, how do you learn, right? I definitely think drilling makes you better. I don't like to drill personally. It's boring. You have to find the right partner who's going to let
It's like
you.
jogging.
But who's going to let you just run your knee across
Yeah,
their nuts 30 times?
it's like jogging.
Yeah.
Like it gets kind of boring
Yeah.
of doing the same thing. But
Yeah.
you're right. It's like certain techniques are like suck when
Yeah.
you're being the person on the drilled against. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But it's hard to say for sure, but I feel like I've learned more from watching people roll, either in the school or watching high-level guys roll, because guys will do things you never thought were possible, like, the Craig Jones things right now, just stand up, right? I think that came from Craig Jones, just stand up. There's videos of Bernardo Ferreira from, BJJ Fanatics, and I think he's from Alliance, but getting in the deep half guard and literally just standing up on people. Like, getting people in the deep half guard and standing up with super heavyweights and just smashing them from there. And it's not a move I hit a lot, but it's changed the way I've gripped people from the half guard. It's like just stand up mentality. It's okay, let's get this half guard, try to roll up to my knees. And
I think you did the other day. I saw you go to you went to X guard. Yeah, you went X guard, and then you were able to stand up.
X guard.
Yeah.
What's up, homie?
Yeah, this is pretty surprising. When you hit X guard, I was like, oh shit, he hit X guard.
I learned that X guard for sure from Omar at one point, but I was traveling one time and I rolled with oh man, I'll have to think of his name later. But this old school famous dude, he's a coral belt. He won ADCC. He was in the UFC. This guy's amazing. And he showed the X guard, and usually I kind of lazy out on the X guard because I'm a fat guy, or I'm just like, I'm not gonna. This is not a fat guy move. But he walked over to me and was talking shit, and I was like, oh fuck, I gotta learn how to do the X guard because I didn't want to let him down. Because I rolled in there wearing Omar patches. I told him who my coach was, who my professor was.
Do you feel like going places with him being your professor that puts a little more
100%
on your shoulders?
100%. So that was I walked into that school. Roberto Traven is the guy's name. This guy's savage. That is the most savage room I've been in. This room was crazy. But I walked in there to go just to kind of see what the classes were like and stuff. And they had a sales team there. It was a big school. And I was like, oh, my professor told me to come here and roll. And he walked by. I didn't know who he was. He walked by and it's like, oh, who's your professor? And I told him. He's like, oh, I haven't seen Omar in years, but I'm glad you came, right? So that was a cool place. And he took the time to actually teach. He taught me a couple things like that X guard push up there. I learned from there. I learned it from a different position. He showed it from a knee slice. It was really weird. He showed it from a knee slice, but it works the same when you're an X guard. It works exactly the same. But then I've rolled at another school. I won't name them. But they asked me, they're like, "Oh, where are you from?" Because they knew I wasn't from that school, and I walked in as a blue belt to a normal class, and they're like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I told him, and this dude looked at me with all seriousness and was like, "Yeah, he doesn't always win." If you know anything about a professor, I think he told me one time he's got 500 medals. And 440 of them, or 480 of them, are golds.
Yeah, he's got a lot.
He's lost. He told me he lost 4 times at his weight division.
That's crazy.
But that was he was like, yeah, he doesn't always win. So some dudes are super salty when you tell them where you're from. Some dudes are just happy to see you. You know what I mean? So
yeah, there's someone new.
Yeah.
I was gonna say for me, I don't have an opinion on. I mean, I kind of do. I like drilling. If I can drill, I think I like it. active.
You remember the
drilling.
one time we drilled here and you broke your toe?
I broke my fucking toe.
Glass ass motherfucker.
That was
I have a
hilarious.
meme of this dude from the movie Glass because
That
he's
was
always
hilarious.
right now. What's hurt on you?
My shin. It's
And what
pretty
else?
janged up. Everything. My knees, my elbows.
This dude walks into class like RoboCop. He's got fucking two or three knee braces on.
Yeah.
You got two knee braces on one knee, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I use ace bandage and then the big knee brace over that. Yeah.
And then right now you're wearing soccer shin pads.
Well, I haven't yet, but I'm going to. I bought.
When I came in here today, you were wearing soccer
it's
shin
because
pads.
I was drilling. I was drilling with the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wait. Let me tell you what happened.
I'm not finished yet. Do you tape your fingers?
I do.
Because
only these two fingers.
It hurts.
No, only these two fingers because this finger always gets hurt and like swells up.
And you wear a mouth guard.
Of course you wear a mouth guard. That's
What-
normal. You
that's
should be
not-
wearing a
no,
mouth guard.
you should not be wearing a mouth guard.
100%. 100% you should be
My
wearing a
wife
mouth guard.
doesn't even wear a mouth guard.
Well, when you guys have fucked up teeth, I'm gonna be like, I told you. When you have chipped teeth, I'm gonna be like, I told you.
It's part of the game, Playboy.
No.
Part of the journey.
So mouth guard, 100%. I don't see that's even a part of this discussion. Anyways, what happened was, one, I have just bad knees, so whatever. That
That's for being a
happens.
fat piece of shit.
From football, right? So
High school
football. You fucking
he did not
knees.
play high level football.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Did you play
Division One?
Did you play
Division
Pop
One?
Warner? A Division One
High school. Yeah, it's huge. I mean, it's not Texas Division One, but it's fucking huge. Anyways,
Did you play Pop Warner?
no, I didn't play.
So you just played high school football for how many years?
And soccer for 4.
And you had bad knees from 4 years of high school football.
My knees are fucked. Anyways, man, shut up. So I was rolling this week, I think Monday or something. Someone pulled guard, and I already had like my like a couple weeks ago. Me and someone went shin to shin, and I mean, you guys know how that feels. It fucking sucks. I ended up with like a lump.
Yeah.
But this dude is a bigger guy, much bigger. He's kind of your size. He pulled guard really hard.
Gigantic, 6'3", 185.
My shin went directly into his knee.
I had the same thing happen.
Like I was instantly, I felt it from my ankle all the way up to my knee. It felt like when you hit, like if you've ever played baseball and you hit like the ball and it like rattles the fucking.
Yeah, or like if you're skateboarding, a lot of people probably skateboard or road scooters or whatever, and your shins get hit. But like me, I rode bicycles, so like you slip the pedal, and pedal left. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, well, it was worse, and it was like instant. Like I was down, and I was like, oh my god. So whatever. I finished. It hurt. I finished the evening, but then like I could barely walk the next day, and then I was like, man, I like was going to bed and like the blanket touched it, and I was like, ah. And I was like, oh, this is not good. So whatever. So yes, I went today and I bought like those soft soccer, really soft shin guards that I'm aware of to train because I was gonna pull out. I'm competing next Saturday.
I never pulled out in my life.
At God damn. So I'm competing next Saturday, and I was gonna pull out of the competition because like I literally can't. Yeah. So I was gonna pull out because I literally I was drilling. I went to Nogi,
That's
and then we did the
JJF San Diego Open.
Yeah. And
So if you want to smash his full sign up, get in his division.
he's
5'1", 365.
Misa just grabbed, not even hard, he just kind of grabbed my shin. I was like,
With his
oh my
hand.
god, yeah, with his hand. And I was like, oh god damn. I almost tapped to that, and I was like, man. So I decided, I was looking it up, and what I've been reading, they're just like, you can't really make it any worse. Even if it's a small fracture, you're not gonna make it any worse. It's just gonna suck. So
It happened from the initial shock, right?
Yeah, right.
I think the same thing happened. I had the exact same thing happen a few months ago. It only got better because I took a month off because I was traveling.
Yeah,
for work.
I cannot have time to take off because I signed up for the Open next Saturday and then
You can
Long
just
Beach
pull
the
out.
weekend after that.
I never pulled out life.
I'm not doing it. I'm ready. It's already today. I had to do it, so it's too late.
Yeah.
So I'm in. So, anyways, after all the shit talking, screw him.
He's gonna say, "Oh, I lost because my shin hurts."
It's gonna hurt. I know it is. But I was gonna say before I was so rudely interrupted that for me, I felt the biggest gains in my game and my leveling up, if you will, was when there was a few months where before World Masters in Vegas, I was going Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, twice a day. I was going Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I was going to the 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and then Tuesdays I was going to the 3 p.m. and then I was going to the Saturday class and the Sunday class, and it was just a massive amounts of hours, just rolling.
What place did you get at World Master?
And what place did you get?
I got the same as you.
Oh, okay, so we're good. That's all I wanted to make
Yeah,
sure.
but I didn't roll that much.
Yeah. So, anyways, but I felt that's where my biggest
His
improvement.
game definitely got better. That's I did the same thing. I was rolling.
Well, I know because one, I felt better rolling, and people that were that I really like. I was able to handle and I was better. And even like they even told me, they're like, "Damn, your game, like your game's getting better." Like, so that's cool.
I think drilling or watching people online or thinking of techniques, nothing is more important than time on the mats.
Yeah,
the time on the mats is what's going to give you the improvement. Like I said, I took a month off, and when I didn't want to take a month off, I had to travel for about a month for work. And when I came back, I was gassed. I could do like a half. Man. I could do like a half to a third of a round.
A week off is a few days off, and you come back and you feel you're like, wow, what happened?
Kind of on the end of this tangent, I think the most important way to learn is time on the mat. Nothing is gonna help more than time on the mat. Just get out there and roll as much as possible. Like when I first came back from that month off, I was rolling about 3 days a week. So I'm super busy with other things outside of work and jiu-jitsu. I'm trying to make jiu-jitsu my priority.
Yeah.
But I was rolling 3 days a week. Now I'm back to a solid 4. I'd like to roll on the weekends, but sometimes the weekend classes can be hit and miss. You know, they're semi classes. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not. And I just don't have time to get to the weekend right now.
Yeah. I just try to go whenever I have time.
Yeah.
Well, I obviously I'm there. I try to be there.
He works from home, so he's got time.
Yeah. I try to be there. I'm fortunate.
He thinks he's David Goggins. He wakes up at 4 a.m, gets a workout in, and then does what? Then you work.
Sauna, then I do my work.
Oh, yeah. He wakes up at 4 a.m. and lifts, and then he goes into his personal sauna. Yeah. And then he goes to his job, and then he's like, I guess I go. You gotta take a shower at the sauna, but then I just work, and then if I don't have any meetings, I've actually recently blocked off every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on my calendar as personal time. Oh my god!
For the 10 a.m. class. So unless
have you been going to 10 a.m.?
Yeah, when I don't have
that's
meetings.
usually the girl class, right? Female slayer there. The lady slayer.
So
that's the class. So hold on.
It's not only girls. I always get smashed. There's some big dudes in there.
Like Ismail goes.
There's a few profiles that show up.
But the 10 a.m. class, I know about it mostly because my wife goes to the 10 a.m.
Yeah.
But what they do is they all call each other on this little group, or they all talk to each other on a group chat. And they're like, we're going to go to 10 a.m. Yeah. And then John's in there smashing ladies.
I don't actually roll.
Crushing the chicks.
I don't actually roll with any of the girls. There's enough dudes in there that I don't have to roll with the girls. It's like rarely.
I hear about all these taps. Oh, I got this crazy. It was all women, wasn't it?
Tapping all the ladies. It's like you should have seen the way it had nothing on that arm. Where I was like, wrist lock.
Took that arm home.
Yeah. No. Yeah, so I do try. I am fortunate, and I think that's part of why I'm kind of obsessed with it. Is like I have the time, so I'm just gonna fucking go as much as I can. Because eventually it's gonna change. Something's gonna happen. I'm not gonna be able to go. Yeah.
So through my whole white belt and into the beginning of my blue, I had more time. I wasn't traveling as much at work. It was still during COVID.
Yeah.
So nobody was seeing me if I wanted to travel for work. So I was there 6 days a week, and probably 40% of the time I was doing 6 days a week, 2-a-days.
Yeah.
Because I would go to the AM classes, which are like, if you're going to go to 6 a.m., you got to be a different type of savage.
Those are rough. That's when I started was a 6 a.m. class. Those classes are rough.
That's where you got hurt.
It's weird. Yeah, that's why I got hurt.
It was in the winter when you got hurt.
Winter. Yeah.
Dude, if you've ever rolled in the winter, especially out here, like we're in the middle of the desert-ish area, but the mats are hard, like concrete.
Yeah, we were. It was like I don't know how long, but we were practicing, I think Uchimanos or something like that, and I got thrown, and it was like, that was it. Yeah, my back was like broken. It was spinal. Yeah. That was my Mike Tyson.
Drilling works. But we'll get more time on the mats. I'm done talking about this.
But
I got some good shit to talk about.
Well, I was just saying, like I do like. I feel like I am fortunate that I can drill.
Yeah,
and I thought it was funny because you texted me the other day because after I hurt my shin, you're like, "Where the fuck are you?" You're like, "You're always here. Where are you?"
Yeah.
But it's funny because you're not the only one. Like I always get like comments like some of the white belts now. They're like, "Dude, you're always here." Like because they'll come to the 10 a.m. class.
In person.
Yeah, because they'll come to the 10 a.m. class, and then they're like, "I'm there," and then they'll be leaving at the 7 o'clock or show up at the 7, and they're like, "Oh man, this guy's fucking here all the time." I'm like, that's right. I'm always fucking here.
Let's talk about slaying white belts. So I can't remember when it was. It was sometime in the last 6 months. I've been real sporadic the last 6 months. I haven't been rolling as much as I want. Like I'd prefer to roll 6 days a week, twice a day if I could. The last 6 months have been pretty crazy in my life, so I haven't been able to do it. But I got like a hair at my ass a few months ago, and I started going to 6 a.m. again. And these were dudes like there was some like no stripe white belts I'd never seen in my life, and I was like, oh, it's white belt Slayer's about to come out. I'm gonna be crushing these white belts because there was nobody there.
Yeah.
There was a couple upper belts, but it was mostly white belts. I rolled with all the upper belts, and then I was like, oh, it's time to crush these white belts. And this dude grabbed me like I owed him money. And I was like, okay, it is what it is. I pull half guard on this dude, and he's just crushing me into the ground. And then I get on top. I finally beat him after probably 4 minutes and 30 seconds. I finally get on top and smash him. But from that day on, every white belt gets smashed. Everybody gets the ass.
That has been my mindset for quite some time because it's happened to me. I don't remember who it was, but I was like, you know, you roll with someone, and Omar goes, "Hey, this guy's new. It's his first day, his second day," and you're
And they
like,
give
"Oh,
you
cool."
1,000%.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, I guess just gave this guy the side control, and he is not new." And then afterwards you find out he's some fucking crazy. He wrestled or something.
No, I had that happen.
And you're just
to me.
like,
there's that one dude who's like, did he get it? He just got his blue
I
belt.
know I watched you roll with someone, and I didn't tell you. And I was like, oh, he's about to get smashed. Because you didn't, it was the first time you had rolled. I forgot who it was. And I watched you.
Did I get smashed?
You got smashed. But I was like, I knew it was going to happen because I don't think so. It was just pressure.
Untappable.
But I knew it was going to happen because I rolled with him. And the same shit happened to me.
Was that dude from Birdo School? That older dude?
I don't remember.
Wow, that dude crushed me.
But I just knew it was going to happen. I was just like sitting there like, oh, watch this. I was like enjoying the show. I was like, he's about to get smashed.
That's happened to me a couple times where I got crushed by white belts or just like dudes I didn't expect to. Like there's a dude who just got promoted to blue belt. I rolled with him one time and he had like no stripes or one stripe. Mm-hmm. And I pull a guard on him, messing around to try to get to the half guard and try to work the half guard game. This dude armbars me from top. I never get armbarred from the guard, by the way. You know who I'm talking about. Never get armbarred from the guard. Anyway, this dude armbars me from like side control, whatever, top, some sort of top position.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I pull guard on him again, roll a little bit hard. He does it again. I'm like, what is going on here? Mm-hmm. Then finally, I start rolling hard with him. I take his back. He's in the turtle. I'm in the turtle. I'm going for like a clock choke or something. And this dude hooks my foot. I'm like, what's he doing? Rolls forward, takes my back, and chokes the shit out of me. And then like the time was over. I was like, what's going on? And I was like, hey man, you're not. I was like, is that a loner belt? And he's like, no, I'm a white belt. And I just looked at him, and he was like, oh, I've been rolling for like 8 years, just never long enough to get a belt anywhere.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh my God. He's like, I did MMA, I did all this stuff. I just never rolled consistently at one school to get a belt.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean.
That's why there's such thing as a white belt slayer, and why you wrist lock white belts.
I just don't. So my mindset now is I'll make sure, like, I'll not let them get control. I'll take control. And then based on how we're going back and forth, you can tell, like, oh, he doesn't know anything, and then you're like, all right, let me,
for sure.
I'll pull him, I'll let him pull on top.
Yeah.
But some, like within maybe the first minute, you'll whether even if you're like on mount or side control, you can tell, like, all right, they kind of know something or they don't know, and then I'll adjust. I'm like, oh, this guy is completely new, and then I'll just like, pull him on guard, and maybe I'll be like, oh, go for this, go for that. But I've learned my lesson of just
being nice.
Being nice, being completely nice to a white belt.
If you're nice to somebody, they're gonna take your arm home. Like, at least at our school, it's that way. Like, I've rolled at other schools where people roll okay, you know what I mean. But when you come in as an unknown, especially the colored belt, they start rolling hard with you. Yeah. But at our school, it's like, there's no breaks given. You're getting smashed.
It's rough. It can be rough. It's definitely those. What's that mean when you drive home in silence? I've had those where you just,
or like the frog.
Where you sit in your car for. Have
you seen the frog?
Kermit the Frog sitting in the
water? Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely been those moments where you're like, man, those are rough times. But you you know, going back to our original topic of like learning, you learn from all that stuff. You learn from being smashed. You know, if you don't learn the technique, you learn how to suffer. Right?
That's my preferred technique. Is getting my preferred way of learning is getting smashed. Like this is a bad example.
You're like, oh, I'm never gonna do that again. Yeah.
This is like a bad example of why to do this, but. When Hickson came out with this book, he talks about being comfortable in the uncomfortable. He said he got smashed by somebody.
You talking about breathe?
Yeah. And then so he wrapped himself in a blanket and let his brothers crush him. And that's like the path I'm going down right now. No matter what, 90% of the time I'm in half guard and I'm trying to get out. I don't care how big you are. If you're smaller, I'm going to get out. It's no problem.
Yeah.
If you're around my size or John's size, I'm getting out probably half the time. And if you're bigger, I'm not getting out at all. But I'm only trying to work. The half guard and submissions from there, or at least getting out, but trying to be comfortable in the uncomfortable. Because I was rolling with somebody, I don't remember, it had to been out of school because it was recently. I was rolling with somebody and they were crushing me.
It's probably me. North-south. Giving you, what do you call it? Giving you the belly of justice?
Yeah, the belly of truth. The belly of justice. Yeah. No, I was rolling with a bigger dude, a full-size guy, not a little small guy.
Full size? Hey, I'll take it. I'm not full-size anymore. I'm happy.
And then, he got on top of me, and I was like, I'm going to tap from pressure right now. And then I was like, hey, mama ain't raised no bitch. We don't tap to pressure around here. And I fought through it, and I was dying. I was pushing him off to take a breath, and he was coming back down and crushing
I've definitely had a lot of those moments where you're just
especially when you roll with me.
It's in your brain, and you have to tell yourself, all right, 10 more seconds, 10 more seconds, 10 more seconds. You know,
and that's hard not beating the brakes off you.
This guy. Yeah, we're, you know, where you just have to, and I think that's part of the game is and when they talk about, like, not to get all like cliche or whatever, but when they talk about how jiu-jitsu can affect like your life and work and blah blah blah, I think that's where it happens, is when you get into those situations where it's like extremely uncomfortable, extremely claustrophobic, when your face is being covered, you can barely breathe, the fucking sweating in your mouth, and you're like, do I tap? Like, this is gross. Do I tap? And then you just like, oh, 10 more seconds. And you kind of wait. You're like, all right, what if I just wait a little longer? Or like going to David Goggins, I don't know if you guys heard his what if. His what if statement. Basically, he's like, always ask yourself, what if? Like, what if I do win? Like, whenever you have doubt, like, oh man, what if I go for this move? I might hit it. What if I go for this? What if I wait a little bit longer? You always ask yourself, what if? When you're about to give up. And so I do like when I'm stuck in a bad position, I do, all right, just hold out a little longer. And that's where I feel like you may not learn a technique. You may not, but you're going to learn like how tough you are. You're going to learn your
how
mental
to be
strength.
Comfortable in the uncomfortable.
Exactly. You're going to learn that mental strength, that mental fortitude to deal with a hard, shitty situation and come out and be like, I survived that, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, I don't think I've ever explained it well, but I have really bad asthma when I first started. And
when he rolls, he goes like this.
Yeah. And
especially when he rolls with me, because I'm giving him like 15 G's of fucking top pressure, just letting his ass know.
Well, initially, I had this like mental barrier because you get in these positions where you can't breathe, and I'd not been in a position like that other than asthma. The only time I couldn't breathe was when I had an asthma attack. And so my brain would always tell me, oh, you're having an asthma attack. And I'd fucking begin to panic. And then I would start getting an asthma attack because I'm panicking, my heart's racing. And if you have asthma, or you've had bad asthma, or you're watching this and you have asthma and you're making, oh, I can't do this because of that. Well, it took a while, but eventually I got over it. And now I know that the difference between my asthma being an issue versus this dude's fat belly is stuck in my face and I can't breathe, you know.
That reminds me, have you ever tapped a sweat?
No.
Never?
It's nasty.
Oh man, I got two good ones. I was rolling with Johnny one time, and it was when him and I started the day apart, and not this John, another Johnny at the school. We're rolling nogi, and I remember he mounts me, and I didn't know what to do, so I stuck my arms up, and I grabbed the back of his head, and I like overhooked his head, and my hand slipped off and hit the mat.
He's bald, by the way.
And I was like, what is going on here? And then I think something came to my mind. I was like, I need to get to my hip. So I get to my hip and start to push his legs to get him further down on me. Yeah. And a drop of sweat falls off his face right into my ear hole. I tapped. I was like, hey, man, I got to stop for a second. And he's like, are you okay? And I was like, dude, you just sweat in my ear. That's not even the bad one.
I mean, I've gotten sweat in my eyes and my mouth. It's fucking
the
disgusting.
eyes and the mouth didn't bother me ever. It happens to me all the time, Especially all the dudes in the school on TRT. Everyone in our division is on the shit. But yeah, all those TRT dudes sweat like crazy. But that like the one in the ear, that was bad. That one made because
plus it's like a
but it didn't.
It like clogs your ear, so you
went straight in the hole. So yes, it clogged. It's like I had water in my ear.
Yeah, it's a imbalance. Your ears have to do with the way you're.
I don't care about it. I almost threw up. But that wasn't the bad one.
Oh,
the worst one that's happened to me. I was rolling with one of the black belts. I think he was a brown belt at the time. And he goes to the dark side Kimura. That's how I learned it. The dark side Kimura is his thing. And again,
I know this story.
And again,
this is bad.
Yeah, the dark side Kimura is when you shove your nuts in your asshole on the other person's face while you're trying to Kimura. I don't remember. Someone on the YouTube called it the dark side, and that's how I call it now. Anyway, this dude's got me in the dark side Kimura. I'm fighting. I'm like, he ain't gonna get it this time. And he's nuts right on my face. I'm like, fuck, this sucks. And this dude rips. He rips submissions.
Yeah.
He's about it.
Yeah.
I grab my gi, I'm holding my gi, I'm not letting him rip it, and I turn my face to the side. And when I turn my face, I take a giant breath of nut sweat. I'm pretty sure I sucked nut sweat through his gi into my mouth. Bad. And I start tapping like crazy, and he gets up, and he's like, you didn't, what was this? There was nothing there. And I was like, dude, I sucked your sweat through your pants into my mouth. I got to stop for a second. And he just laughed and finished the roll of somebody else. And I was on the side like gasping for air, like, am I going to die right now?
That's so gross, but that's funny.
Tap into sweat. Let us know if you've ever tapped the sweat. That shit is brutal.
Yeah, I've never tapped sweat, but I've never.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't mind getting sweat on. It doesn't bother me so bad. But man, those two were.
Johnny, you do sweat a lot though. You a sweaty motherfucker.
He's sweaty.
Yeah, I like to what I like to do sometimes is I'll like reach to the top of someone's head and like push down and just kind of just to kind of irritate and put pressure down and make them have to like back out. And when he's not sweating, I can get my hand will stick and I can like get a good grip and push and hold his head down from it. But when his head's sweating, boom, it just slides off like you're saying. I'm like, ah.
Yeah.
It's like going for a collar tie with him. Your hand just kind of.
That's exactly. That's what it was. I was on the bottom, and I was a white belt. I didn't know we were both like probably no stripe white belts, and I went for the collar tie, and my hand just slipped off and hit the mat like full blast too. Like if I was break falling and I hit the mat, it slipped off and I hit the mat, and I was just like, what the fuck?
No,
like that shit is out of control.
That's crazy. That's nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the worst I've had is this like sweat in the eye and sweat.
The eyes don't bother me because
you know what? It's not bad when you don't notice it. But have you ever been like rolling and you're like stuck in a position and you see them sweating and you're like, oh, there it is, and you can see like the bead. You can see the bead forming and slowly rolling down. You're like, damn, that's gonna end up in my face. And I mean, like from the start of that sweat and the way that it like develops into a bead and starts like growing, and you just like the whole time in your head, you're like, fuck, that's gonna drip, and then it's. Wow, right in your face.
I was rolling with somebody this week and that happened. Like I saw it forming and I just wiped it off for him because I didn't want it to end up on me.
I didn't want my own sweat to end up on me.
Dude, no, not my sweat. Somebody else's sweat. So I think I was on the bottom, like in half guard, and they were sweating, and I was just like, that's terrible.
Yeah, I bring a rag because I sweat a lot. So I bring a rag, and like in between rounds, I'll fucking.
Not me. I'm trying to smig with my sweaty
I'll dry off my face. I just dry my face and my hair. Like I'll run it through my face and my hair or whatever. But that's it. But man. In the summer, so like you were saying, where we live, it gets stupid hot. Like it gets like 110, 120 out here.
In the gym, it's over 100, and the way I know that is there's thermometers in the gym. I have those same ones in my shop, and they say 99 always. And I found out it's because they don't go over 99. So they're always pinned at 99 in the summer because they don't get hot.
Yeah, the gym gets it's another level. It's so brutal. It's funny because
I like the summer. I like summer rolls.
Well, the thing about the summer is when you roll, your body feels better. Like you're not sore.
Yeah, it's like
you feel loose. Yeah, exactly. You just kind of loose. Versus in the winter, you're stiff and everything hurts, and you really have to get like a really good stretch in because that shit everything just fucking hurts.
Yeah.
So there is a difference in that, but it gets brutally hot. Like it's crazy.
I like it. I mean, I like rolling in the winter. I also don't drink water when we roll. Do you drink water?
I sip on water, yeah. I don't drink a lot of. When I first started, I would drink a whole bunch of water, and then I realized like that's gonna make me vomit.
Yeah, it makes it worse. Yeah, I try not to drink any.
No, I just sip on water.
Yeah, it's got to be like when I first came back after that month, I was drinking probably like a half a cup during class. That was in the winter, so it wasn't bad. Yeah. But in the summer, I won't drink water.
Well, right after class, I drink a lot of water.
Yeah, I drink it on the way home, but I try not to drink in class ever. I thought about that because when we I did a World League, I think, and you got to roll. You got to roll multiple times at World League, and I remember just sucking down water and then going to my second match. I was like, I think I'm gonna throw up on this dude right now.
There's a video I think I saw of someone rolling in a match and they threw up on the other person.
Have you shit your pants while rolling yet?
No, I've been close.
Ooh.
I've been close.
I haven't shit my pants, but I farted in someone's face.
Well, when you say shit your pants, that's why I was assuming you meant farting.
Yeah, no, I mean like shitting your pants.
Oh, no, I've never shit my pants, no.
I know of dudes who shit their pants in gym.
Oh, God, damn, that's gross.
I've seen some people pee their pants.
If my stomach was bugging me that much, I'm not going to class.
Yeah, but like me, I don't know until it's there.
You like your grandma, man. Your grandma, I don't know if you have any of those grandmas you walking down the store and they just fucking let it rip. Like, I didn't know. I didn't know.
You know, I was rolling with Cody a couple weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago. It was after class, and he was in like street clothes. He was like, "Hey, do you want to get one in?" I was like, "Okay." And we're rolling, and he like grabs me because I'm in the half guard, and he grabs my leg and throws it over his head, and I ripped a fart right in his face. That motherfucker kept trucking though. He just kept doing it.
Sometimes, I mean, I've had people fart while we're rolling. You just kind of like, whatever.
When I was
keep rolling. Unless it stinks, then it's a different story.
No, I don't give a fuck. I had to have been a white belt this time. There was this purple belt. This dude, he's like a trainer, like a dude that works out and shit. He's a big dude. He hasn't been there in a while. And we're rolling, and I catch him in an arm drag. And I don't know, I ended up arm dragged a single leg. And I lifted this motherfucker to the moon, and I slammed him on his back. And I was like, oh my God, this fool ripped the gnarliest fart, and I slammed him. And then I come into side control, and he just looks at me, and I was like, hey man, I earned this shit. I'm not stopping.
I think the most embarrassing one I seen, and I mean, it was embarrassing to me, but I thought it was hilarious, is Berto was in the middle of, we had a big class. It was probably like 35, 40 people in the class, and Omar was doing like a knee on belly technique or doing something.
Let's talk about Berto is another black belt from our school. He's running his own school in Temecula right now, a UFC fit gym.
Yeah.
So if you ever see some people from UFC fit, there are some legit people at him.
100%.
Yeah, we finished the story.
So he was being, Omar was using him to show the technique.
That's what they call it, a UK or UK or something.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was. Yeah, and then he did something and like he was just like rip, and it just came out, and dude, it was so loud. And then, when everyone's watching the technique, it's like everyone's quiet, so it's not like everyone's rolling and there's music. It was like completely dead silence. Everyone's watching, and he was like rip, and his face turned so red because he didn't hear that.
I don't think he even cared.
He was like, "You guys hear that? Was it a frog or something?"
I don't know. Did you? So when Berto was teaching like really solid at our school, at least the time I was there, it was always Saturdays. Berto was always
he always did Saturdays or Sundays. Yeah.
That fool just be ripping farts the whole time.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Just ripping farts. So I rolled with him, I don't know, 100 times when he was ripping gnarly farts.
All that protein.
Don't. MMA fighters. That's why you don't let dudes who fight MMA roll in your school. Because they're all grimy, they're ripping farts, and they all got ringworm.
I don't think Alberto had ringworm.
That you know of. Go to where he fights. I guarantee everyone's got ringworm at least once there.
Oh, you're talking about at the actual MMA gym. Yeah.
MMA dudes are the dudes who fight are different.
Well, you got to be different to be able to
breed.
Be punched in the face and like deal with all that crap. So you got to be a little bit different. You can't be normal. You can't be normal.
That's why he's ripping.
It's just the same as Jiu Jitsu. It's obviously not fighting, but I think Jiu Jitsu.
It is a fight.
Jiu Jitsu guys.
We decided last week it's a fight.
Okay, right. It is fight. Right, but like, I was for example, I was on Discord with some friends, and we were talking about.
Hey, follow us on Reddit. Fuck Discord.
We were talking about I was watching like a technique. I think who was it? Was that brown belt or I think he's still brown belt from Pedigo with the bald hair, the Mexican dude.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name right now. He's savage.
Yeah, he was showing a technique, and it was from lasso guard. George. Yeah. He was showing a technique from lasso guard, and he he was like had it locked in or whatever, and my friend, we were on Discord, he was watching it because I was just watching, we were just bullshitting, and we was just talking about how it's kind of nuts. Like I get hurt, but then I keep going in, and I'm like, ah, fuck it, it's jiu-jitsu, whatever. And he goes, yeah, but you guys don't give, like, he's like, I don't get it. Like, it's not normal to get hurt and continue to go or do something where you're gonna get hurt. And then while we're watching the video, he goes, this is how you grab the lasso guard and you lock it in here, and you get your fingers locked into their gi and kind of give it a twist. And then he goes, he goes, can it break your fingers? He's like, yeah, of course it can break your fucking fingers. But he's like, but you want to win, don't you? So fuck it. Like in the video, and my friend's like, he just fucking lost. He's like, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Like that doesn't make sense. That's not normal. And like my shin, I should be taking time off. Like I literally if I don't stand for a while, it fucking hurts to walk. The blanket or a pillow touches it, and it hurts. But I went to Nogi the next day, and I'm like, all right, how can I keep training so that I can keep.
And now you have a shin guard.
And now I have a shin guard. But guess what? I'll be in there, and it still hurts with the shin guard. The shin guard hurts. But my point, you're missing the point. My point is there is something wrong. There has to be something wrong.
Yeah, we're a bunch of dudes sweating on each other.
Like you were bringing, he didn't finish the story earlier. When he came over, we were drilling at my house, and I don't remember what we were drilling, and we were drilling, and then all of a sudden we heard a snap.
Oh yeah, you broke your toe.
Yeah, we heard a snap, and we were like,
unsweepable, dog.
Yeah, I don't remember what.
Unsweepable.
And I was like, I think you were like, did you hear that? I was like, yeah. I was like, that was loud. And then I was like looking around, and I was like, man, what was that? It was my toe. I broke my fucking toe. And I was like, God damn it. But like my wife broke her toe. My kids have broken their toes. Like.
I think, my wife broke her toe too. I think I have a broken toe right now.
Yeah, but my wife, when she broke her toe, she competed the next weekend.
Yeah,
with a broken toe. But what I'm saying is like,
did she go get a toe guard?
I don't. But why you gotta bring up bullshit? But the thing is what I'm saying is, there's something different. I don't know if it's just what. Like maybe the type of person to do jiu-jitsu that's what it is, or like it's so like you're so addictive that's what it is. Like, I don't understand why.
It's addictive, but also the people that are drawn to it are drawn to different things. You know what I mean? I mean, there's also if you're watching this, you probably do jiu-jitsu. You probably do it with us.
A great example. What's his name? His wife Jessica. Ismail. First of all, his wife, she has torn ACLs, like MCL, like her knee's fucked up. And I was like, oh, how long has it been like that? She's like, oh, a long time. And she's just rolling. She's getting surgery, so that's awesome. But she was like savage. She's in there rolling like that. I'm like, oh, what? So then one day I go to the 10 a.m. class, and Ismail was there. And we were practicing scissor sweeps. Scissor sweeps. And so I was like, oh, I'm just going to switch it up. So I went from scissor sweep and then to the arm bar. And I kind of went for the arm bar. And then he's like, oh. And I'm like, what? Because he was like this. And I was like, what? And he goes, oh, I have a broken orbital bone. I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, I went for a double leg or a single leg, and their knee came up and it broke. I have a fractured orbital bone. And I was just like, what are you doing here? Like, he didn't have any protection on his face. He didn't tell me. I was like, dude, you're a savage. Like, but that's exactly what I'm saying. Is like,
well, it's probably hard to tell on the camera, but I have a black eye right now from rolling.
But the point being is like
that you're a pussy.
There's something. No, because I'm still going to train. I'm still going in.
With the shin pad on.
So what?
I had the.
You took time off.
Not on purpose.
You took time off.
I was rolling for months. I was rolling for months with that injury. Months.
I'm gonna rewind this where he was like, "Oh, I took 10 days off." That's literally your words. You said, "I took time off."
I had a month off, not on purpose.
We're gonna rewind this.
I didn't say I did it on purpose.
I'm pretty sure you said.
But I also remember complaining about it. And
you complained a lot,
and you were just like, "Hey, just keep going."
I did.
And now you have a fucking shin
guard. And guess what? I'm fucking going though, right?
How many fingers do you tape?
2.
For what reason?
Because I always hurt this finger. Look at this finger's fat.
You want to look cool on the ground.
No, this one's always fat. I don't post my hands on it, man.
You have fat fingers.
Don't make fun of them.
You're fat in general.
They take offense to that.
You should take offense to it.
You're right.
You fat piece of shit.
This guy.
Hey, hold on. Let's go back to where we should have started at this podcast.
God damn.
What do you weigh today?
195. 194 this morning.
225?
194.
How did you gain 35 pounds in a week? This fool's 5'1", 265.
265.
Did you just hear him say that?
Yeah. There's a lot of bugs out here.
Yeah, we got the lights on.
Yeah, they're attracting the bugs.
I don't know what
Anyways.
we were talking about.
Just being broken and continuing to go.
Being old.
Yeah.
Being 40.
That's part of it too. I mean, that is part of it. That
Yeah.
40 and fighting, that is part of it. You know, there's a point in our. Maybe we'll cover this later, and it's probably worth covering about doing jiu-jitsu as you're older and the combat sport as you're older. But that is something, you know.
I got a good one on that, like about rolling when you're older. Like,
I think that should be its own podcast, though. I don't want to go too deep into.
No, I got a quick statement about it. We're not quite 40, but we're older. We're probably in the upper end of the medium of the people in our school. And I think the way you don't get hurt is knowing how to roll with other people. There's certain people, like, I want to smash these dudes. But I know if I go 25%, they're going to go 65%. And if I go 65, they're going to go 1,000%. And they're going to hurt you.
Yeah.
So you have to know how to roll with certain people in the gym.
Yeah.
There's certain people who can just hurt you.
Yeah.
And you just have to know to, like, be a bitch and just, like, hey, tap.
Yeah.
Or not roll as hard with them, you know.
Yeah.
Try to use it as a technique roll. That's all I got
just
about being
dive
old.
bombed the chair.
Yeah.
There's a big ass bug out here. They're just dive bombing everywhere. It's like kamikazes.
Are you afraid of bugs too?
No. I mean, I don't
look scared.
like mosquitoes.
You look scared, dog.
I don't like mosquitoes. Damn. Oh, that's a
That's
cricket.
He's trying to get my drink.
That's a big cricket. That's what that was.
Cricket. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know if I have much else.
I don't know.
I mean, I got a whole bunch of things here to talk about, but we can save them for later. They're not.
Yeah.
The only thing I got that I think that's kind of recent is I think it happened today actually. That Helena Jiu-Jitsu girl won 4 golds at ADCC Open.
That wasn't today.
That was today.
No, I just watched the video the other day. She did a different one.
Yeah, she's
traveling.
It's in Denver. Yeah. And one of the people in her bracket was Rose Namajunas in the UFC.
I saw her fighting
Former strawweight.
Yeah.
Former strawweight world champion.
I think I sent you a clip of her on Instagram fighting, but I didn't know she fought her. I gotta watch that.
Yeah, that girl. I don't think Helena fought her. I think she ended up fighting the girl that
Thug
Rose lost to.
Yeah.
But that chick is like we were talking about it last
16?
time. Yeah,
15?
about like teenagers beating the brakes off you.
Smashing people. Yeah.
So I've seen that girl roll in real life. She was at World League.
She was at World League.
Like
She fought.
She's from here.
She fought. We were there. She was fighting Jocko's daughter.
That's right, and she put it on. I mean, I'm sure Jocko's daughter's a savage. There's nothing against her, but this chick Helena is like her life. She's 15 years old. Her life is jiu-jitsu.
Well, they moved from California to Dallas so she can train at New Wave, or Austin.
Yeah, so she
can train at New Wave.
Yeah,
which is insane. But she is a monster.
You know, it's funny about that specific World League. Someone in Brianna's age group, I think, but one bracket down in weight was Angela Hill from the UFC.
I saw.
She was there like
yeah, she was warming up. She was like shadow boxing. Yeah, I saw that.
She was competing as a blue belt. If you're in the UFC, you should not be able to compete as a blue belt.
No, that's minimum. The blue belt. You can't compete as white belt, but blue
She's
belt.
in the UFC.
Blue belt. That's the rules.
That's crazy.
That's the rules.
That's nuts.
Just because you're UFC doesn't mean you're a great grappler.
You're a professional fighter.
Doesn't mean you're a great grappler.
You know,
how many fighters have you seen that have zero grappling?
You know what's even
when Kimbo Slice was fighting, would you have called him and be like,
I probably would have choked that motherfucker.
He'd probably be a blue. I mean, he wouldn't be able to compete.
Kimbo's the man. He's the reason I like fighting.
Right, he wouldn't be able to compete as a white belt, but you wouldn't say he should be a purple belt.
I would choke the shit out of Kimbo.
But that's what I'm saying. Just because you're professional doesn't mean that.
I agree with that. You know what's even crazier though than Helena being 16 or
she's a monster,
Angela Hill competing at blue belt. Fucking Demetrius Johnson was on Rogan like 6 months ago talking about doing IBJJFs at brown belt.
Yeah.
Mighty Mouse.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look up.
No, he hasn't competed, but he's talking about he wants to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think his one contract is over, or they'll allow him to do IBJJFs.
I like that. There's so
that
much.
That dude flying armbarred somebody.
Oh, I saw. Yeah, he did hit the throw, dropped him down, and on the way down, and then Joe Rogan was talking about it because he was like, everyone thought it was like a fluke.
Yeah,
and he was like, no, I practiced that. Yeah, like we drilled that. Crazy. And he was like, what the hell?
I guess that goes back to the beginning. I mean, drilling works.
Yeah.
I think his coach, Matt Hume, showed him that. Matt Hume, I think, is actually a catch wrestling dude. That was like a catch wrestling move, not specifically jiu-jitsu, but I mean, it was armbar.
Again, this goes back to the being older things. Like, there's things that I wish I could do that I had more confidence in. Like if we had a class that just did judo, I would like that would be sick. If we had a class that just did wrestling,
That's why I've been practicing my Uchimanis on.
or like wrestling, like having a wrestling class, because that's awesome. Like
hey, everyone wants to wrestle till it's time to wrestle.
yeah, that's very true. It is very true. Wrestling is rough.
Were you there
man.
yesterday?
No. I didn't
Yeah,
go
so yesterday Gabe taught, and we talked about Gabe last time. He's like a lifelong wrestler.
Yeah.
He's been wrestling for 25, 30 years,
Yeah.
something like that. And he was showing the duck walk, like, you know, the kneel,
I know
heel, toe, knee.
Yeah.
Hard. I can do it.
Well, when we do when we're doing no-gi on Thursday, Roger was teaching, and
Roger?
Yeah, and he was teaching. He had us do this thing where you two people stand, your legs open, and you shoot, but you shoot and you go under the leg. So it's like heel, toe, knee, boom, and you shoot and go under the leg. Like go under and then turn around.
Lost their nuts headaches.
Turn around, and then jump over. And this is my shin. This is like the first day back from my shin, and I'm like, man. And so I'm like jumping over, and I'm like, every time my shin was hitting the ground, I was like, oh, this is stupid. But I was there.
Your shin was hurting?
Hell yeah.
How did your pussy feel?
This guy with the jokes. Anyways,
I think that's pretty much. I mean, I got a bunch of shit to talk about. We'll talk about it next time.
yeah. Well, hopefully you guys like the podcast. I did something new. I enjoyed it. The last one seemed to be well received, I think. And if you guys have any topics you want us to cover, again, let us know.
Fuck these fools. I'm trying to talk about some shit.
What do you talk about? You can talk
I got some
about
good shit to talk about.
What's on your mind, on the next one. So, yeah. So I think that's it for tonight. That was cool. It was a good time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a comment, hit that subscribe button. We'll probably have other social medias coming soon.
He's going to put my Instagram on there so you can follow me.
Instagram, a website. Working on the logo.
We got some hot shit coming.
Working on stuff.
Yeah.
So we want to be consistent with this. So that's the goal. And I think that's it.
Yeah. Instagram.com/beardrolls.
Just go unfollow him.
FatDudeRidesMotorcycles.com. That's all I got.
All right. Peace.